Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, traders. This is John Howe speaking. Today we're going to have a look at three blue chip stocks, and we're going to have a look at one low to mid cap stock. Thank you very much for all the people on the database. You know who you are. You've been sending me through your requests, the different stocks you want me to look at, and I know some of you wanted me to look at these stocks, so thank you very much for sending those in. Make sure if you are on my database, keep sending them in, and I'll keep shooting these emails out to give you my personal or my general view about the overall markets that we're looking at and the stocks we're specifically looking at in this video. Okay, we're looking at a gold limited stock. It's a small to low mid cap stock, and it's a gold low cap stock. We can see if I just squeeze my chart off a bit, we had this nice looking trend line up through here, bounced off here, bounced off there, and also bounced off there. Had a bit of resistance through here. Nice looking resistance through there. Resistance again. It actually finally broke up. And what was resistance is now support. Got a bit of resistance around there, but it finally broke off to the upside. Now we're looking at had a resistance through here. Bit of support. Came up. Bit of support again through there on this trend line. Came up, almost found resistance. Came up, and now it is an actual resistance right through here. If we have a look at the overall market, this is the high up here. The market just came straight down, and this was the last little medium-term resistance. So I would say that if the market starts to pick up and it starts to break through its resistance, we might get a little bit of resistance around here. But if it does break that, then I could see some pretty good upside action, and possibly in some time in the future we could get back up to 25 and maybe 30 cents to the upside. So that's this little low to mid cap stock. Next stock we're going to look at is CSL. CSL is a big blue chip stock on the top 20. I'm pretty sure it is. And if we have a look at this, we can see just by looking at this, this market it was going through. You can see if I just do, you can see all through there and also all through there as well. We can see that we had a nice channel through there. Once it actually broke out of the channel, it came back down to the channel, but it also we can see that it actually overall did head on to the upside. Once it actually broke out, we can see that it broke here. And then once it actually formed this resistance came back up. Once it actually broke this resistance that was actually forming through here on the market, notice what happened here. The market came up, it actually broke through, it came down, and look at it form resistance, formed a bit of support, and now look at just take right off to the upside. So that has, as they say, left the boat behind. And for the people that actually did not hop onto this stock, you can see it actually did hop onto the upside. So when you're doing your technical analysis trades, just make sure you are being very careful about which way the market's going, and make sure you're definitely checking out different things, because the overall market was going sideways here, and a lot of traders will say, right, once it breaks out of here, I'm going into it, which might be okay for the short term, but then you got to wait for something to happen. And you can see this resistance through here. Once it actually breaks resistance, now it's on to the upside. So just definitely make sure you do your own homework around the charts, and make sure that you're definitely having a good close look at the actual market itself, and not the indicators, because the market is going to teach you what to look at. Okay, so let's have a look at another stock. We're looking at Woolworths. Woolworths is another stock that one of my databases, people in my database wanted me to look at. One thing I like about Woolworths is, look at this. We had a little resistance over here, support. Look at it bounce off that support. Resistance, and now this bit here, it just did not act as a resistance or support. It had a little bit of support through there, but lately it did not act as a resistance or support. So we can see that the overall market is up. We had this little support line through here, a little support down here. Look, it actually bounced off that support line as well as it went up. As this market goes up, you can see that if I just delete everything, and as what's happening right now is, you can see we had probably a bit of resistance support around there. It's probably not that finite number, but some stocks you actually get this, and this is why you got to really watch your stocks, because you probably say the resistance and support are probably around there. Had a support, bit of resistance, and look at the resistance. So that probably maybe a 25, maybe 30 cent mark. That would be the resistance level for the stock. Sometimes you can draw a parallel, just a thin line, and that'd be the resistance. Sometimes you gotta give it a bit of a leadway. Leadway means that you gotta not have just a finite number, but have it maybe a 30 cents thick like this, and say, okay, that's my resistance or support line. We can also see that we had a bit of support down there as well. But right now, it's just amazing how trend lines work. If I just pull my screen across like that, okay, so I've just pulled my screen across so I can't actually see what's happened. We're just down in February. And notice this market started to come down through here, okay? If I just grab my little trend line tool up there and just connect the dots right through there, okay, just connect the dots. And I'll just leave it there, okay, just save it to my chart and leave it there and wait to see what happens later on. And if I fast forward my chart now, and if I extend that trend line out, which I just basically got resistance, extend that out, look at that. Came back up, and look at that. Bounced off trend line, bounced off the trend line, bounced off the trend line. Traders, if you learn how to use the technical analysis really well by using trend lines and the indicators, you can become long-term profitable in this market. But it's little advantages like that if you're in this stock and you're buying it, you say, well, we are coming against the trend line, and the probabilities is it might get a bounce off it, so I'm not going to go touch that, or I'm going to get out once it actually gets up to there. You can see it actually struggled there for a while, and then it's had a bit of a rest to the downside. So that's what's happening right now on Woolworths. Once again, this stock is just basically overall sideways. If I just do something through here, through there, you can see basically the overall stock is now sideways. It has had a bit of support down here and resistance up here. So not much happening with that stock. But again, just learn how to draw trend lines, learn how to view the charts, learn how to look at the patterns, learn how to do all that sort of stuff. And once you educate yourself that way, the charts can become really easy to read and get a good understanding of where it's likely to go in the near future. Okay, and the last stock we're looking at is ANZ. ANZ is a pretty good stock. And remember I said sometimes that finite numbers are good. Like you can just get like a thin line and that'll be support or resistance, or sometimes you've got to give it like a maybe the resistance would be about a 30% wick or 30% space. This one here, if I bring up my weekly chart, you can see over here, look at this, resistance, support. Look at this over here, support. We had resistance. It actually didn't act resistance as support there, did it? We had resistance here, support over here, resistance became support. Look at over here, resistance. If I open up my chart now, go back to my daily chart, you can actually see what's actually happening with this stock. Let me just delete these trend lines now and bring them back up. You can actually see that this hesitated around here, came down, but actually came back up and paused there. Once it broke down, became resistance, became support, broke through it, came back up, and look where it actually stopped. If you look in this stock, and remember this was the long-term support line. Remember back, if I just squeeze my chart up again, this was the long-term support over here. A long-term support going back to 04. If you're going to draw trend lines that go back to 04, even 02, if there's a nice, good, significant support and resistance there, you might, and it's likely to get a bounce off it. Make sure you definitely do your own homework though, and what you're doing. And look at it, came back up. And if you're in this stock, just say for example you got in down the bottom here. Okay, you got in down the bottom here, and you're looking to short-term trade this stock. A good chance would actually get out would be this resistance. Why? Because that's where it's likely to stop. And look at it, it stopped right on that trend line right through there, right through there. Please traders, do your own homework, get technical analysis. If you're going to do technical analysis, it will benefit your overall trading career. So have a good afternoon or morning, and I'll see you next time. Trade in the stock market is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee your profit from the information provided. The information in these videos is meant for educational purposes only. That being said, I've been trading the market profitably for many years. So please, do your own homework and make sure you look after your current financial situation.